Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm going to be doing a reading for us, all my people. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is life is about to change so powerfully. It's supposed to be powerfully. Hello, hold up. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. All right, there you go. Let me show it again. So powerfully. Okay. So there's a lot of changes in the works. We're closing out 2023, and it's becoming this thing where, you kind of need to maybe see some type of validation for the types of changes that your higher self is trying so hard to kind of encourage you to accept. These changes are not necessarily going to be easy changes, but these are changes that will help you get to where you need to be with your understanding of yourself, your life, your purpose, all of that. Okay. So let me finish getting some cards for us. How are you guys doing? Okay. A couple of these. I knew it. I knew it. Okay. I was going to leave 2 cards out, and Michael goes, "What are you doing? You need to grab those 2." Anywho, I did. I grabbed them. Whatever. I grabbed them. This message is for you guys. So I'll go ahead and I will grab whatever cards your higher selves want you to see. So whatever. I'm not even going to look at what that is because I don't want to know. And then this is the final deck we're pulling from. All right, let's see where this is going to go. Let's see where this is going to go. Okay, this one wants to come out. Okay, let's see. Let's see. All right. Oops, that's okay. I already pulled it out. Whatever. Let's get started. Here goes. Okay, so spring in reverse. This is something that's going to cause you to potentially, like the guidance and the messages and the whatever, what have you. It's going to cause you to kind of be concerned that springtime is going to be upside down for you. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes the hardest part of the changes that are coming is that in the very beginning, it's very, very difficult. It's changing, it's altering the way you see yourself, the way you see the world, all of these different things. And these are things that need to shift if you're going to start making changes in your life. How easy is it to make changes in your life if your mindset stays the same? It's not easy. It becomes very, very difficult. If you are someone, for example, if you are someone that continuously feels like if things don't go your way, you're being persecuted in some way, someone's picking on you, it's because of this, it's because of that, and it's never because you don't make the type of life choices that you need to get the results that you want. It's never because of that, right? Then you're going to have a really hard time, and that's what I just said. I know is going to rub people the wrong way, but I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm not here to give you this false sense of something amazing is going to happen for you with minimal effort, with minimal participation, with minimal acceptance of the things that you do in order to remain in the cycles you've been in. Okay. I'm not saying you deserve those cycles that make you sad or make you feel very low. I'm saying if you can grasp and accept that your decisions keep you locked there, and which decisions exactly keep you perpetuating those cycles, then you can stand the chance of choosing something different. And when you choose something different, you can then begin to experience different things and tap into different types of potential. Okay. So it's really, really important for us to understand that this type of accountability is necessary in order for your life to change in the most powerful way possible. If you're going to allow these changes to occur, the way you see yourself, the level, the depth that you take accountability for your life, life has no option but to change. Life has no option but to change because guess what? You're behind the wheel. You are the one controlling the direction that your vehicle is going, right? Oops. As you make these changes, things will begin to lose their intensity. Things will begin to really, really just flow in the direction it's needing to flow. If you start doing these things and you kind of, have these little setbacks and these snags that happen because, this kind of sometimes what happens. Don't get disheartened, okay? Don't assume like, oh, see, Emmy said that, now it's my fault. I'm doing the wrong things. No, sometimes what happens is that we're so accustomed to this. It's like, I guess, a teaching. I'm not sure what to classify it as. This thing of like, oh, if it's in alignment, it'll be very easy. Not always. Not always. It could be easy, but you're receiving it as a difficulty because it's not easy for you to do something you rarely ever do. For example, and this is a prime example, right? One of my most favorite exercises to do, I do this every time I go to the gym because I'm working on building my lower back strength, my hamstrings, all of that, right? Um, I always do deadlifts, either full on deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, all sorts of different variations of deadlifts. Most people don't deadlift properly. Most people will have improper form, which then makes you more susceptible to injury. And it's this thing of when I first started, it wasn't that the weight was heavy, it's that my form was difficult to maintain. And so now, because the movement has become something so second nature to me, and the way I hold my shoulders and my back, and I keep everything nice and tight, so that way I'm in the proper form through the whole movement. I could deadlift pretty heavy numbers. Okay, I could do that if I wanted to, but do I? No, because I don't want to do things based in ego. The likelihood of me injuring myself is higher when I do higher weights. So I need to keep it at a lower weight so that I can just continue to maintain the health that I've established for my back and my hips and my legs. And that's the thing. Most people think that something is really, really difficult, but is it? Is it hard to do it, or have you just not done it enough yet? And so it's not yet second nature to you, right? It's very hard for me to not put my all into something that I'm passionate about. That's why I don't understand how I could not succeed at something that I'm hyper fixated on. That's going to succeed. And to see something begin to even slightly falter, that's very hard for me to just witness and not do something about. Because I've conditioned myself and my mind to function in this way. What's going to be easy for you is the thing that you do the most. If you consistently sabotage yourself, your growth, your progress, all of that, that's going to be very, very easy for you. When now you're needing to hold yourself accountable and put in the effort for your growth rather than putting that into someone else, because many of us, we use other people as people projects. It gives us a justifiable excuse to not work on ourselves, right? So when we do that, it becomes this thing of like, okay, now I have to focus on myself. I went through the same difficulties. I was accustomed for much of my life to use other people as an excuse to not work on myself. And I would just martyr myself all the time, overgive, and be overly present, overly available, overly accessible. And it's this thing of like, no, I cannot continue to do that to myself. It was a difficult thing to really face myself and be able to acknowledge, like, I'm using other people as an excuse to justify my lack of presence in my own journey. And in order for you to receive these life changes and to receive them in a way that empowers you tremendously, you have to be present for your purpose. You have to be actively participating in that process. You have to. Someone cannot do this for you. You cannot buy some type of session with someone, myself included, that will just have this done for you. You have to invest your time, your energy, your effort into yourself. You deserve it. You deserve to support yourself, grow yourself, empower yourself to the same degree of intensity that you do for other people. You deserve that from yourself. What if you did that for all those people so that you could best refine the approach when it came time to do it for yourself? And the people who want you to stay trapped in these cycles, because guess what? They benefit from it. It's not about love. Okay. They benefit from you remaining in these cycles that are detrimental to you. Some people will want you to stay in these cycles, and those people, they benefit from it. And so they will tell you, you're being so selfish. Like, you've changed. Of course, you've changed. You're supposed to change as you continue to grow and mature. Could you imagine if you stayed the same level of maturity as when you were 13? Well, but you've changed, right? You're supposed to grow and change. You're supposed to be given the space, the time to shift within yourself, to become a greater, more beautiful expression of your greatest truth, your greatest purpose. And people who don't give you permission for that, people who you have to explain why you're going through these changes, they are not worthy of you. I'm going to be hella blunt today. They are not worthy of you. I've had to learn the hard way. The people who are worthy of the type of love and friendship that I openly give, very, very openly give, these are people who I will never have to explain myself to. These are people who are like, you know what? You don't have to explain. I'm here. It's okay. And I'll be there trying to, like, I'm so sorry. Just there's this going on and that going on. It's just been really like, and they're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You have things going on. You don't have to explain anything. I understand. I know your heart, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing to have people like that in your life. And when I recognize that I have people like that in my life, I cherish them. Don't cherish the people who keep you trapped in the very cycles that are being used to punish you. That's you punishing yourself. For many of us, we justify our punishment by actively seeking the types of people and environments that have the capacity and the willingness to punish us in the ways we subconsciously think we deserve. And this is the period where you need to begin exiting out of those cycles. You have to begin exiting out of those same types of mindsets that have kept you very, very much imprisoned within yourself. Ethos. Yep. The mindset of the environment that you stay in will become your own mindset. That will be the way you see yourself. You hang around people who don't take you seriously. If you hang around people who think you're crazy, who dislike you, people who make you feel badly about yourself, then that's what you're going to feel. You're going to believe that that's all you deserve, right? I once had a friend, I had a user who successfully convinced me. It didn't take much convincing. She's just nice, you know? She convinced me she was a friend and that she loves me and blah, 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 blah. You guys know the whole spiel. And there was this thing that happened where she got fully consumed by a parasitic strain, and it had been going on for a few months, and I was not aware because I was so busy. And during those months, she created an entire storyline in her head of like, we're competition. I'm jealous of her and she's becoming stronger. And like, we're not competition. And I celebrate when people become empowered, even strangers. Like, I celebrate that. That's not something that I'm intimidated by. No one will ever replace me in my purpose. Same applies for you. No one will ever replace you in your purpose. Whatever you were created to do, only you can do. Only you can do that. No one can replace you in your purpose. And so what ended up happening was she had a falling out with me. Well, it's not we had a falling out. No, she had a falling out with me that I was unaware of. And then it became something so intense for her, that she couldn't hide it anymore. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand what's happening here. And so it became clear that I was not welcome in that circle. And so I excused myself from the circle. There was no like, please talk to me. I don't want to. I was just like, all right, I'm good. I'm not welcome here. Okay, I'm good. Let me grab my things and bow myself out. When I did that, it was this thing of, oh, see, look at how she is. She just tosses people away. Well, bitch, you didn't want me around. Did you want me to beg so that you could tell me you don't want me around? They will play these games with you, and some of them are not even aware it's a game that's being played, right? When you're aware, excuse yourself from it. From my understanding, she tried to send someone else who had a large following to try and talk to me, and that person let me know that they got her blessing to talk to me. I was like, fuck you all. You're a grown ass fucking person. You need to get their permission to talk to me. Fuck that. I don't give a shit. Fuck that. I don't need to be friends with you to try and maximize my reach by exploiting yours. I'm good. I'm not here as an influencer. So it's this thing of understanding your worth and making the choices that you need to make in order for you to stay on your path and be your most authentic self, right? To be your most authentic self and allow yourself to expand, to grow, to really, really fall in love with yourself, quite possibly for the first time in your life. Allowing these changes to occur within you. They might be 1 degree at a time. That's perfect. 1 degree changes, one after the other, after the other, after the other. That's how you ensure you are not simply trying to create a character. You're not supposed to be someone else. You're supposed to go through this process to be more of who you are, to be more true to yourself. And that's what is going to happen. You're going to enter into a space where the ethos is in alignment. It is in alignment with who you are and what you need. And as you go through that, the faulty guidance will begin to be obvious that it's faulty guidance. I don't know how this is going to play out in your life. And I specifically make it a point to not be so specific so that you can figure out what it means for you. Not everything is going to apply to you. Not everything is meant to. Okay. I want you to have the space and the freedom to go ahead and begin thinking for yourself. I want you to be a free thinker. Fulfillment. This is going to happen one way or another. With your participation, what happens is something very beautiful and very powerful. Without your participation, without your agreement, what's going to happen is something very powerful and most likely very, very challenging, very difficult, something that will absolutely crush your sense of self. That's how you'll perceive it. I'm going to give you another perspective, okay? When you begin to feel like life is crushing you, I want you to remind yourself, I'm not being destroyed, I'm being deconstructed. The ways in which I created imbalance as I was growing myself, that's being undone so that I can grow strong, I can grow tall, and I can be very, very solid within myself, right? Initiation. This is something that's already been initiated. It's going to happen regardless. Okay. It's going to happen regardless. Your soul has already initiated it. What's the date today? The 17th. In 5 days, we're going to go through another portal. You guys who are sensitive to energy are probably already feeling that. Okay. In 5 days, we're going to have another portal for the 12/21 portal date. That one is said to be bathing the entire world with frequencies and energies that we have not been immersed in for thousands of years. Okay. So this is a huge, huge, huge event. Certain gates, certain pathways, certain channels, portals, stargates, however you want to view it, some are being closed down during this period so that others can be opened. Cycles are ending. This is your opportunity to establish a new cycle that you choose, one that empowers you, one that has space for you to be your most authentic self, one that will really, really be in alignment with you falling in love with yourself again. Ooh, I love that. I love the way that feels. All this right before we begin 2023. What's so important about 2023? Well, 23 is the number of Melchizedek. I don't know if you'll find information on this online. This is from conversations with Michaela over here. Okay. 23 is the number of Melchizedek. 23, as in Regulus 23, the largest star in the Leo constellation. Where is that star placed within the Leo constellation? It's the lion's heart. Regulus 23 is a star of Michael. He was assigned that because he has the heart of a lion. So that's first and foremost. This is the year, 2023 is the year that the Melchizedek family will rise once again. I can't say anything past that. If you look at the numbers of it, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. Old cycles are being completed and those stargates are being closed down. New gates are being opened. There are going to be things that are, I can't talk about that. Moving forward. Yes, I will be doing a fire ceremony on the 21st. Unfortunately for my lungs, I will be doing a fire ceremony on 12/21. It's also said to be a portal date, tying into bonded celestial pairs. Okay. Twin flame stuff, twin ray stuff. All right, carrying on, imagination in reverse. You're not imagining these processes that are occurring, these signs that you're being given by your soul. You're not imagining these things. Your soul is communicating with you, actively communicating with you. But the language of the soul and the heart is a language that's felt, not heard. Okay. So it's about allowing yourself to feel. Why do you think the societies we live in don't leave room for you to feel? Like, oh my God, you're so emotional. Why are you not? Why are you so level and okay with the state of the world? Right? That's my question when people are like, why are you so emotional? Why are you not? You a psychopath? Sorry. I'm saying. All right. So moon cycles. Oh, my girlfriend just messaged. I'm checking in on you and reminding you to breathe and take a few minutes for yourself. Okay. Yes. Let's just breathe for a moment. Just allowing ourselves to understand the time we're spending here is time for ourselves, myself included. Today's reading is about the self and what we need, the way we need to give ourselves permission, right? Permission, permission to be who we are, permission to grow and love ourselves and allow ourselves to recognize how much we're worthy of, how much we deserve, that we should allow ourselves to receive, that allowing yourself to receive is not being selfish. See, when you receive, you put your hand out, and it's up to the other person or being or whatever it is to place something in your hand. When you're taking, that's by force. That's not receiving, that is taking. And when you take, yes, that can be some type of selfishness, but allowing yourself to receive is not. It is not selfish for you to allow yourself to have whatever it is your soul wants you to have. It's not selfish. Giving away your abundance doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a person who has struggles with receiving. Yep. You need me to say it again? I'll say it again. Giving everything away doesn't make you a good person. It just is indicative of your struggles with receiving. Oh, no, Emmy. You don't know what you're talking about. I give to people all the time, people who don't deserve it. I'm a good person. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but that don't make you good. That don't make you good. Are you giving to people who you benefit from if you give to them? Okay, so then you're using them. That don't make you good. See what I'm saying? Just because you give does not make you good. What makes you good is the fact that you are a good person, and that you are a good person whether you give or not. Allowing yourself to be who you are, authentically you. When you're a good person at heart, everything you do is goodness. Everything you do is goodness. So I'm the type of person that's a giver. I'm not saying it's bad to give. I'm saying I'm a giver. I like to give things. I don't know why, but I do. I just like to give things. And so I've learned I will never not give. That's just not who I am. I will always be willing to give. But now I realize there will always be people who will see this about me and try and take advantage of that. I don't have to give to everyone. I give when my heart tells me to. You guys remember that mom from, where is she from? Mary something. I forget. It's near Boston. It's not Hagerstown because her sister's from Hagerstown. You guys remember Nina, the mom? She was like in a really bad situation, and we got her kids fed. Um, we were able to raise enough to tide her over until her SNAP benefits were approved. Just amazing, amazing stuff, right? She needed that. She has a lot of kids. They're young, winter's coming, all of these things. And she was able to receive the help that our community provided, and that tided her over. That was needed. That was needed, right? Oh boy. As that live stream was going, I didn't say anything during the live stream. Someone messaged my business page on Facebook because I was live on Facebook and YouTube. And they're like, I need help. Send me money. Do you think I'm a bank? You think I'm a bank? Is that what you think? I'm not a bank. My community doesn't get used by people. I will not be the bridge to allow the users and the interlopers into our sacred space. No, no. When there is a true need that is demonstrated, maybe, maybe. When my heart tells me to, when I continue to bleed if I don't help, yes, absolutely, yes. When a true need is demonstrated, and I'm witnessing this without you knowing I'm witnessing, yes, absolutely, yes. Children should not suffer. Children should not starve, especially when their mom already works 2 jobs. Yes, some people need help. Most people just want. Okay? And that's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. I've learned that we have to discern, because what I give to someone who just wants it will be taken away from someone who needs it and doesn't have the courage to ask. I will always be a giver. That's just who I am. I will always give, but not to just anyone anymore. No more of that. No more of that. No more. And that's something we all have to learn. We have to allow these changes to occur so that we can exit out of these cycles that are intended to shame us into compliance of continuing to give something we don't have the capacity to give. You know, there's been several people who I've known them for some time. They've never asked me for help. And it's just been this thing of my heart is calling me to them over the past couple of weeks. And it's been bad situations for them. And I've just been like, okay, so I have a lot of things tied up right now. This is what I have available. I was going to get something, but I'm sure I can wait a little bit to get that. Um, I'm just gonna get what the person needs. Yeah, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. And it's this thing of part of me is like, well, you know, we're a community. Why don't I bring it to you guys? Well, because no, no, not right now. Not right now. It's something that I need to do myself simply because I know the time of year that we're in. Everyone is kind of pressed for some kind of cash because holidays, right? And I'm still going to be who I am, even if it's quietly and privately again. But there will be plenty of times, especially in 2023, where I will come to you as my community so that we can push forward certain objectives for the nonprofit. There will be plenty of opportunities for us to continue to push forward as a community. But here's the thing, because I know you guys are givers like me, this season is for you, right? For you, for your time with your family, whatever you need to spend on. Like, no, it's for you guys. Whatever I need to take care of, I'm going to figure it out on my own, take care of it. It might not be as much help as I would love to provide someone, but hey, whatever I can do, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work within specific parameters that make it possible for me to do it on my own. Right. So it's this thing of really honoring your need and knowing that sometimes it's something you need to kind of just revert back to your old cycles. Because remember, the cycles, right? Revert back to your old cycles and, you know, do just a little bit of that. It's not unhealthy to revert back temporarily for a specific purpose, right? You don't always have to be like forward, 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 push, 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 because that's basically running away. You're trying to get as far away from something that's uncomfortable for you. That's not how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to avoid the very thing that will cause the growth. See, for a little bit, I was like, I'm never going to give again as a person, as an individual. I'm never going to give again because it's too much. People have taken advantage of me too much. No, honey. I had to sit myself down and be like, Emmy, no, stop with your bullshit. People didn't take advantage of you. You invited people who are users. You invited them to do this. And it's not about blame, it's about acknowledgement of I literally invited them. Right? There will be people who will exist, who will share information with you in order to get you on your own terms, with your own thoughts, to offer things that they wanted to begin with. Right? Oh, things would be so easier if I had a jacket. Like this really expensive Moschino jacket, right? Like, oh my gosh, I'd be able to do so much stuff if I had this jacket. Mind you, the jacket's like $1,500. Walmart has jackets. Ross has jackets. Burlington Coat Factory has jackets. They're like $50, $60. Those are doable, you know? I mean, really recognizing the different patterns that are used, these behavioral entry points, they're points of exploitation. Those are the entry points that they use to get you to initiate things. You could take a step back, be like, oh, yeah, that's a nice jacket. Oh, I'd love one too. I'm not offering you a $1,500 jacket. Are you serious right now? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. If I see a need, I will offer for a need. When you come back and tell me that also I want this. No. And that's not even a need. No. No. Mm-mm. So there's something that's coming out that was a secret is not going to be a secret anymore. Okay. It's going to be something that maybe you had recognized, but you didn't really have enough courage and enough confidence to believe your intuition. You're about to get confirmation for it. And it's going to help you to manifestation is going to help you to manifest the opportunity to exit out of that difficult circumstance, to just like get out of that and carry forward. Yep. You're going to be able to break this. It might be a relationship. It might be a very an unhealthy relationship, an unbalanced type of work partnership. It might be a friendship that's become very toxic. Whatever it is, the union is about to go upside down, right? You're going to be entering territory that's unfamiliar because it's in reverse. You're going to be going into a space that's unfamiliar. For some of you, this is probably, validation that your decision to break away from toxic family is the best decision you could have ever made, right? I feel like for some, it's important for you to take a prolonged break from some relatives, especially if you have very toxic relatives. You might need several months. And then for others of you, you might need more than several months. You might need to consider an entire life without them, right? And people are gonna be like, oh, but they're family. Yes, they can still remain your family. You can never change that. They are forever your family. Once you share a blood relation with someone, you share that blood relation for the rest of the life. That doesn't mean they need to be part of your life. You notice how I said that with no shame? Toxic is toxic is toxic, regardless of who it is. And if you can't find yourself in your peace within their presence, they need to go, or you need to go. Someone needs to go so that you could have an opportunity to reestablish your peace. Okay. Until you enter into a space of respecting yourself, you will not enter into a space of prosperity. You just won't. You just won't. You won't do it. How could you ever prosper if you don't respect yourself enough to allow yourself to receive, first and foremost? Secondly, to have boundaries and enforce them. In the first I would say 18 months of me being publicly visible. I was entering into a space of prosperity that I've never been in before. And I had no respect for myself. And I'm not talking about I was being a little thought. No, I had no respect for myself because I was under the impression that in order to give myself permission to receive the abundance, the financial abundance that I work 18 hours a day for, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, that I had to give it all away. No, no, I don't. No, I don't. I absolutely do not need to do that. I'm still going to be a giver, but I'm not going to be dumb like that anymore. I'm just not. Because no matter how much I gave, it was never enough for the people who were there with their hands out. It was never enough. I still have some people who haven't been around me for a few years now. They were last around me when I was still that person. And they message and they're like, "Oh, Emmy, can I have this and can I have that?" No, like, "Hey, how are you? Gosh, how's everything been? It's been quite some time." No, it's like, "Hey, Emmy, oh, do you remember me? Oh, I don't know if you remember me, but you helped me with blah, blah, blah. I need help again." Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate that you think I'm still the same person after how many years? Oh, that's right. You haven't been around supporting me and showing me love in any way, shape, or form. All these years, you didn't realize I've actually stood in my power. At some point, I walked towards my personal power and I stood there and stayed there. Again, don't get me wrong, I'm still a giver. I'm not a martyr anymore, though. Learn the difference between the two. You can be a giver all you want, but never allow yourself to consciously choose to be anyone's martyr. They're not going to learn how to love you by martyring yourself. They're not going to suddenly develop an appreciation for the richness that you bring into their lives just because you're depleting yourself. What I found is that I give so profoundly to people that it becomes so commonplace that they become so accustomed to it that they expect it. That's the norm. That's the norm. I had someone message me. This was a while back, right? I had someone message me. I had chatted with them a few times privately. And then one day they messaged me with this message of like, "Hey, so I gotta move. And, I know we're like friends and stuff." I'm like, we're what? I mean, I've chatted with you a few times, like you've messaged me and I've responded. Um, and so I keep reading and she's like, "Yeah, I don't want to ask you for too much. So I'll just ask you for like the minimal amount. Can you wire me $1,500? Who the fuck does that? You want me to wire you $1,500 and you know I live in a broken RV and I'm transient. Transient is a mobile homeless person. You don't want to ask for too much, so you're just going to ask for only $1,500. You lost your caca ass mind, is what it is. You lost your caca ass mind. Here's the thing, though. You want to know what's even crazier? I established that expectation. I established that expectation. Another person asked me for $10,000. Y'all, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Y'all motherfuckers know I live in a parking lot, right? And this was during the period where I lived in a parking lot. Right? Right. Okay. So I'm just saying, when you establish that type of thing, people will find it normal. They will find it normal and very commonplace. And so you have to establish healthier things for yourself. I'm not sharing this to be like, look what people are doing to me. No, I'm sharing this to be like, y'all, this is how fucking obnoxious I was. This is how fucking obnoxious I was. I was allotting $500 for myself per month for groceries and gas while I lived in a parking lot, and everything else I was giving away. To the degree that people are asking me for 4-digit amounts. Are y'all kidding me right now? No, they're not kidding, because I established that. I take full accountability of the life I create for myself. And I did not change that until I took accountability for that. Okay. You know how I know I healed past that cycle and I've forgiven myself? Because I'm still a giver. Not like that anymore, though. I'm still a giver. And I tell you, there's something that's just so, it makes me so ridiculously happy to have a nonprofit, because now I could do that like for work too. That's what I love, right? So knowing the difference, how to split the difference between my work and my passion, my life's mission. Okay. Legacy, persistence. You have to be very, very persistent in what you want to achieve. You have to allow yourself the time, the space, the energy, the opportunities to reach the levels of success that you want so badly within your heart. Just because you want to succeed, achieve things, because you have goals, does not make you undeveloped or unevolved. People who are using their personal time, their personal thoughts, and their personal energy to concern themselves with your growth are the unevolved. Do I need to go into this deeper? I don't give a shit what your aesthetic is. I don't give a shit what your aesthetic is. I don't care if you wear linen or malas or meditate or drink cacao from a ceremony or do energy work or whatever else you think makes you superior. When you can't respect someone's process, when you can't give them the time and the space and you try and grab at them because you see this delicate wildflower growing haphazardly and you want to turn it into some type of bonsai, I'm sorry, you're catching the thorns. And that's on you. That's on you. You want to catch some thorns? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Leave a wildflower in its peace. Let it grow in whatever way it grows. The world, the earth, creation itself is providing for its existence. Leave it alone. It doesn't need you to water it. It existed before you realized it was existent. You are that wildflower. People need to just leave you in your peace and let you grow yourself in the way you're meant to grow. Allow yourself to grow. Hiding in someone else's shadow blocks you from that photosynthesis, right? You providing for yourself, you creating for yourself from your very environment, creating. I will always identify as a wildflower growing haphazardly in a parking lot, with my environment providing everything I need, the basics. The basic things I needed were always provided. It was not a fancy life. It was a very basic, very simple existence, and it was beautiful. It was ridiculously beautiful, and it gave me the opportunity to be very passionate about being my most authentic expression of my most authentic truth. For those who have experienced so much hardship lately, let me tell you something. When you've already had everything taken away and there's nothing left to take, that means there's nothing left to lose. Keep going. The things that were taken from you, that was a favor by creation itself. Less to carry, the faster you can move. Keep going. Keep going and have no apologies for your movement. Have no apologies for the ways in which you grow. Keep going. There will be people who have been with you for some time and they will not support your growth all of a sudden. Why? Because all of a sudden your growth is taking you in places where they cannot follow and control you. Not going to happen. I will never allow myself to be controlled. And if you try, you will see the type of rebellion coming out of me that you haven't seen since archaic times. I'm one of those. I am one of those. Yep. There is nothing I would not endure to simply prolong my sovereignty. I will not submit. Ever. It's not just words. Ever. If it's not in alignment, it will not be allowed. And maybe these are things you can tell yourself, right? If it's not in alignment, it will not be allowed. So you're out of time. What do I mean by this? I mean, time does not exist. There's no timeline for you to follow that's understandable and quantifiable by human anything. People will have some perception of you need to follow a specific timeline. Tell those people to shut the fuck up. Sorry, I'm being so truthful. In fact, this is so insulated. It's burning hot still. I burned my throat all the way down my esophagus. I burned the entire length of my tongue. I burned the roof of my mouth, my tonsils, and my uvula. It's been a morning. It's fine. Card number 15, tranquility, harmonious in action. Okay. Sometimes it's going to seem as though you're not taking enough action. In reality, the action that's happening is internal and silent. So just let it, okay? Let it do what it's going to do. Allow it. Allow. You know, sing yourself that song. Sing that song. Allow. All right. Resources. Figure out what resources are available to you. Okay. I think I'm going to claim this reading. I think I'm going to claim this for myself too. I'm saying we need to figure out what resources are available to us so that we can push forward with our goals, with our missions. Like, for example, my ass has been on fire for about, I would say 48 hours now. And it's not like hemorrhoid fire, it's a sacred fire. My ass has been on fire because I tell you, I've compiled a master list for our Sovereign Empowerment Initiative for Soulwork Synergistics, my nonprofit ministry, my nonprofit church. And I've compiled a list of free clinics in the local environment, the local community that we are immersing ourselves in. So I have a master list of where people who are not insured, underinsured, low income, they can get health care, they can get prescription assistance, they can get dental care, they can get mental health care, and it doesn't matter if you have insurance or not. There's payment plans. There are organizations that I found that are pro bono, meaning they do it for free. I've found all sorts of different resources, housing, food. I found organizations that will help you to find food pantries, organizations that give massive grants every year to food pantries so they can buy direct from farmers and growers. You know what I'm saying? My ass is on fire because come 2023, I'm fucking ready. I'm going to start snatching shit. I'm ready. I'm ready to serve my purpose, to live it all the way through, right? Find out what resources are available to you. There are nonprofit organizations in your local community that can help you with job training, interview training, career counseling. There are organizations that will grant you vouchers so that you can get clothes for your interview. A lot's been going on the past few days. A lot's been going on with energy the past few days. And the only way I could find to cope is to just continue pushing forward. Pushing forward in ways I've never pushed. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to do whatever the hell I can do, which is a lot. And I'm going to start changing communities, and I'm going to change enough communities to make it a point to change states. And I'm going to change enough states to make it a point to change countries. And I'm going to change so many countries and the way they function that I will then eventually be able to sit back and see I've changed the world. The help is there. The resources are there. It just takes some knowledge of what to look for. Everything you could possibly need to do what needs to be done is there. It's there. You just need to know what to look for, what to allow yourself to receive. There are many, many, many peoples that I've come across over the past few months. Peoples who will play a role, some type of role, they'll contribute something to the work that all of us are needing to do. And really, I have no problem being the one who does it until other people can find their courage to do it right along beside me. There's a lot of changes in store. A lot. There's a lot of things that you're needing to begin to wrap your mind around. Things that will cause you to feel emotions because it's time to release your disbelief in yourself. I was compiling this master list of all of these different resources. And it was this thing of realizing I'm really going to make this happen. I'm really going to push this through and make it happen. The people who are needed to be a part of this journey, my personal journey, they are already gravitating towards me. I'm already being introduced to the very individuals who have the experience, the knowledge, the know-how of how to accomplish specific tasks. And it's this thing of these are the resources that, for me personally, I need to push this forward, but I haven't wanted to see them as resources. That's my struggle with receiving, knowing that I'm being given the very people who could help me do the very things that I was born to do, but not allowing myself to make those connections because I still struggle with receiving. You can succeed to a certain extent without allowing yourself to receive. But if you want to truly succeed and accomplish to the degree that you are destined to, that you have the capacity to, you're going to have to allow yourself to receive. You're going to have to allow yourself to receive. That is a given. You are going to have to allow yourself to receive. And if you do not allow yourself to receive, you are the only one you can blame for not having the things you know you deserve. I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about the experiences, the connections, the environments, the support, the love, all of that, right? Someone's like, well, what about those who don't have the love? Okay. You ready for my answer? You see, some of us grow up in a really messed up way, and we learn really messed up, distorted perceptions about love, right? And because of those distorted perceptions, we then continue to seek out the same cycles with the same people. It's the same characters we look for our entire lives. They play specific roles. They continue to perpetuate the environment that you were raised in. Are you still 3 years old? Are you 8 years old? Are you 15 years old? I'm pretty sure most of us are at least 18 or older. I'm pretty sure of that. That means now you're an adult and you need to make some choices to get you out of the situations and cycles that you have been stuck in. You can only blame other people for so long. You can only blame other people for so long. Let me say it one more time. You can only blame other people for so long. That's not to say people haven't treated you poorly. That's not to say people haven't caused you pain. That's to say it's a choice to continue to remain in that environment. You can always tell when there are people in the audience who are watching and they're not ready to take accountability for the way their life has gone. You'll see the viewer count go down. That's okay. You'll be back. That's how it always works. You'll be back. You're feeling attacked because guess what? You don't want to take accountability for your life. No one's attacking you. But see, when you're so accustomed to hiding from the truth, yeah, you're going to feel very singled out. How are you being singled out when I don't even know who's watching this? You're feeling singled out because your soul brought you here in front of me, a truth teller, someone who doesn't sugarcoat shit, someone who doesn't villainize you just because you don't know enough to choose differently, yet loves you enough to speak openly so that you can begin learning how to choose differently. You'll be back. I don't take any of that personal. Why? It's my purpose to be a trigger. Some souls exist as a catalytic amplifier. I'm one of those. I will amplify all of your cognitive dissonance and trigger you into a state of catalytic change. Just by listening to my opinions, you'll begin to see what of your opinions are distorted. It's not for me to tell you which ones, it's for you to recognize. I went through the same process. It's called the theory of positive personality disintegration by Dr. Dabrowski. It doesn't bother me none. When people disagree or don't understand, it doesn't bother me none. Is it because I know everything? No, it's because I know what I need to know for myself, and that's all I need to really know about. And to speak openly and honestly and just share and allow people the freedom to choose what resonates and what doesn't. Maybe if I was trying to build like some type of cult following, you're not allowed to question me. Yeah, maybe. But I'm not into that kind of shit. I'm really not. I don't like when people just take what I say and act as though it's the word of God. That's like ugly too. You know, start hearing and questioning some of your beliefs, not because my beliefs are superior, but because when was the last time you questioned why you believe what you believe? When was the last time? When was the last time you sought out the root of why you believe what you believe? You know who taught you that? You know who taught you that about yourself? Probably wasn't you. So why do you think that? Well, because you don't really know. I've had many, many beliefs that have been programmed into me, and I didn't know why I believed that. I didn't know until I took the time and the effort to go and explore all my valleys. You can only see so much from the mountaintop. Yeah, you can see far. But do you know the character of the soil? Do you know what the earth smells like in that region? What about the flowers? The flowers that only grow in the valleys, not the mountaintops, right? Everyone's so quick to want to achieve something and be on the mountaintop, to be able to yell like, I'm here and you're down there. Have you not noticed something? The mountaintops tend to be barren land. Minimal things grow on a mountaintop. You're exposed to all the harsh elements on the mountaintop. Everything is so much more severe on a mountaintop. Why are you on the mountaintop? To prove you're there? Okay, you're windburned. Your lips are all chapped. They're starting to crust up. You're windburned. Climb down from the mountaintop. Rejuvenate yourself in the valleys. Reconnect with the earth and all the living things in that valley. Rejuvenate yourself, replenish yourself, allow yourself to recognize you needed to be up there for a moment, but not live there. You needed to be up at the top of that mountain so you could see what area of your land you want to live in, where you want to explore. And that's it. That's it. Too many things we do trying to prove to other people we're worth the effort, we're worth their presence. Card number 3, transformation, defining yourself, but it's in reverse. It's in reverse. So, how are you defining yourself? Whose words are you using? Because those words are obsolete. They are obsolete at this point. Card number 21, resilience, finding your limits. See, going down from the mountaintop. You need to know what your limits are so you know what you're pushing against. If you know what your limits are, you'll understand how people have convinced you, how their beliefs, their limiting beliefs have affected you. There was someone in my family who's very business minded, but they're business minded in a way that's very traditional, right? And I'd been gone for a few years and they didn't think very highly of me, which I don't really care. And so when I came back, they were watching me for quite a few weeks already. It's like every day I'm working, every day grinding, working, work, right? And I'm a happy person. I'm intense, but I'm typically happy and chill. And one day, because this was during COVID, one day this relative was like, huh, so your business is COVID proof, huh? I'm like, yep. It's recession proof, huh? Yep. You should this, and this. You don't know shit about what I'm doing. that was my answer. You don't know shit about what I'm doing. Like, don't give me business advice. Don't give me business advice. Oh, you don't know. I've raised blah, 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 and had so many companies and, talking about tax brackets and this and that. And they were trying to give me advice as to how to better squeeze money out of all of you. And I was like, you don't understand. These are not clients. This is my community. This is like my online family. You don't know shit about what you're talking about. So because I wouldn't give in, conversation ended. They were pissed off. And then I remember he was telling me that I should start, me specifically, which I didn't want to, that I should start a GoFundMe for my brother because my brother was dying. And I didn't want to. I felt very like, And then I was like, you know what? I need to, because his IV bags were going to cost several thousand a month. And those were what would keep him alive, that medication. And it wasn't covered by insurance. And so I needed to do the GoFundMe. And then I did. And I think it was within 24 hours. I know within 12 hours, you guys had gotten close to $20,000. Within 24 hours, it was something like $25,000 that was raised. And that particular relative was like, what the? And then I told them, I told you, they're not clients. It's a full-on fucking community. This is like a family. And then, of course, in chimes my husband. Oh, you don't know how much people love you don't know how much they love her. They'll do whatever to help her. And that's when they understood, like, oh, let's just keep my mouth shut. You should. You should keep your mouth shut. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I do. You don't know who I am. You don't know how I am. The advice you give is for what? You don't want to see me succeed. You see, I am succeeding, and you just want to be able to say you're succeeding because of me. No, it's not because of you. It's because of me. It's because I have integrity. Live your life that way. Succeed because you are incapable of doing anything and being anything outside of being you. And the people who witness who you are understand the gravity of it, even if you don't. How is your brother doing? He's doing really well. So last time I updated you guys, I believe he was like at 7% heart function. He was being prepared for the LVAD surgery. That's a left ventricle assist device. They were going to implant that into his heart so that he could hopefully live long enough to have a heart transplant. That was the only options. He was actively dying. And now his heart failure is reversed. So it's very close to normal. And his doctors don't know how or why. They don't know. They don't understand, because everything that modern science says, once the heart is damaged, it doesn't regenerate. You don't regenerate new cells. It's not like if you damage your skin, it will regrow. No. Whatever damage you sustain for your heart that's it. And you just can maintain it for as long as you possibly can, knowing that no matter what, it's going to continue to degrade and degrade until you expire. Yeah, all of that completely undone. At one point he called, he had they did a ultrasound on his heart, and the week before there was a quarter-sized blood clot in one of his atriums or ventricles. No, atrium. I think it was the left atrium. They were afraid that if it broke up too fast, that it would get ejected into his body and that would be catastrophic. He would probably not survive that. Quarter-sized clot, that's catastrophic. Any area it goes to. So they did that and they found that the clot was suddenly missing. And then because it was missing and there was no adverse effects, like he didn't have a stroke again or anything like that, they went ahead and did a cardioversion. And with that, they stopped his heart. And when it started again, the rhythm was normal. It converted him back to a normal sinus rhythm. He exited AFib. And then his heart function jumped to, I think it was like 30 something percent, from 7% to 30 something percent within seconds. So, yeah. And then the enlargement of his left ventricle, that seems to have reversed. They don't know why. It helps when you have a sister like me. I'm just saying. So, in case you guys don't know, I had to push back the date for my certification program. The start of level 1 will be, I believe, January 15 instead. So, there's still some time if you want to learn how to do energy work the way I do. And y'all, all of this is documented, medically documented. So, I'm not saying that I did anything. I'm saying a miracle happened. All right. So patience in reverse. That 1221 portal, patience in reverse, mirrored souls in reverse. This is a blockage that needs to be corrected. And I think this is a period where that blockage will be corrected. A correction in the block between a bonded pair does not guarantee that you will be in a romantic relationship. Remember what I told you guys before. Maybe I'll say it again. For twins who are in a romantic relationship, it's because you're needing to do double time with making up lessons that either you've skipped or pause or all of that. You need constant exposure to each other in order to do that. That's why some twins are in relationships. Twins who can grow independently of each other tend to not be in a romantic relationship. They tend to have an awareness of each other, but there is not a romantic component between the two. Okay. Worlds within worlds, and then emotions. So whatever you're trying to contain within yourself, it's going to be released by emotions. Think like, I can't say that word. Here, I will. Okay. Do you guys know what word I'm trying to say? If one of you type it, then I could just put it on the screen, but I cannot say that word. It's Lyso. Lyso. Okay. So I spelled it, and then the last two letters are in the comments. Um, a lot of what's going to happen is that's going to be allowed to kind of release out into your system. Typically, when that happens, typically when that happens, people tend to experience flu-like symptoms, things like that. There's going to be a lot of energetic detox occurring in the world. The frequencies that are coming in will cause a lot of agitation in order to stretch out, to thin out the membranes that have kept these contained. So once it spills out, then, the emotions and the traumas and the things like that will spill out right along with it. The emotions will feel very upside down, which could explain the feeling of lack of patience towards the mirrored soul. Yeah, both of you are going to experience this simultaneously. You're going to experience it in a very synchronistic, synergistic way. You have to have a belief in your ability to be a free spirit. You have to believe in yourself more than you believe in your fear, more than you believe in your doubt, more than you believe in any of that. Okay? You have to believe in yourself. Stop giving your power away by believing in all sorts of other things except yourself. You know? So, this is part of what's needing to be cleared out. This upside down hope and upside down sense of self worth. Just because you don't understand your worth, just because you feel helpless and hopeless, it does not mean that you are only helpless, hopeless, and worthless. I still don't understand the gravity of my effect on all of you. I just know that I like to spend time with you guys. I just know that. And so I do when I can. And that's the thing, is that, do I need to understand the mechanics of how I affect you? No. I just need to show up when it's appropriate for me to show up and share what is appropriate for me to share, and let you experience what you need to experience or want to experience. Right? You don't need to fully understand, but you need to accept yourself. You don't need to understand fully what your purpose is and how you'll achieve that. And, all of these human based things. Yes, you're a human, but you're also so much more than that. And when you confine yourself to a strictly human existence where you need to know all of this and that and this and that and this and that, it becomes difficult. Ooh, this. Hey. You told me once to stop expecting the worst and start expecting music. It's hard, but it works. The beauty about music, my son is a producer, right? A very successful underground producer. And it's this thing of like, he makes this music and it just comes from him. It comes from his heart. It comes from his soul. And I don't understand the ways he comes about with these things, but let me share one of, I'm going to share something with you guys. Give me a second. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Okay. Let me do this. 1 second. And I just want you to feel something. I want you to feel something, okay? This is not something you can teach. This is a language of the heart, a language of the soul. This is something you just hear it and know. You just hear it and you know. Okay. You can feel your soul speaking to you. You feel that? You can't teach this. You can't teach that. You can't force that. There was no theory that could be applied. So when I tell you the language of the heart is felt, not heard, the heart is what the soul uses to communicate with you. I mean, you feel it. You feel it. You don't know what you're feeling. You don't know why you're feeling it, but you feel it. And you accept it. You allow yourself to receive it. And that's how life is. I saw what you wrote, Dines. You meant magic. Start expecting magic. But music works even better because it's this thing of like, we all have the notes, but do we all make the same songs? We've all heard music, but can we all write it? No. And it's okay. Just because you can't write music doesn't mean you're less than, doesn't mean any of that. So you just allow yourself. You allow yourself to listen to the guidance of your soul. You allow your soul to be the thing that guides you out of the dark spaces that create fear. You allow yourself to stand in the light of your truth, a space where your soul shines upon you, the purpose with which you were created to fulfill. See, your destiny is not what you will achieve. Your destiny is what you were created to do. I did a workshop once. It was a workshop to learn more about nonprofit churches and IRS classifications and, you know, the different types of churches that you can form, different types of nonprofits, and about compliance and all of that. And during that workshop, because it was a Christian workshop, they asked everyone the question of, why do you think God chose you? Do you believe that God chose you to do this? And why do you think you can? And the entire workshop, I pretty much didn't say a word. And then finally at the end, they asked me specifically, like, hey, you haven't spoken. What did you get for that, the answer for that question? And it was this epiphany that I had that I wasn't chosen for this. There wasn't anything that I was chosen to do, but everything that happens in my life, I was custom designed to handle. That's why I'm not even ashamed anymore when I like be checking people and stuff. Like, motherfucker, your soul brought you to me because I'm gonna check your ass. That's why. That's why. I'm not going to be ashamed of my salt no more. I'm not going to be ashamed of my ratchetness. I'm not going to be ashamed that I can speak it to your face and I ain't tripping. Like, I'm not going to be ashamed no more, because I used to be like, oh my God, why am I like this? Why can't I just be girly and soft? Because I'm not. But also I am. It's okay for me to be both and be a whole person, a whole being. I give myself permission now. I give myself permission. You don't need anyone else's permission. You need communication from your soul. And what your soul is telling you is that there's no new chapter that's needing to be started. You simply have to allow yourself to live the book that is your life. You are writing your book of life as you live it. Some people might be like, well, but Emmy, listen, I'm sick of your butt Emmys. I'm joking. Some people are going to be like, well, but Emmy, if we're living our book of life, what good is that going to do? That's your gift to other people. The book of life wasn't being written for you. You are the author, and you are gifting that book to the generations that come after you so that they can be inspired by the book, inspired by the books you've written as they write their own books for future generations as well. You know what the world is? The Library of Alexandria. Each of us come from an ancestral line that wrote a book that was in that library. We are the living, breathing Library of Alexandria. They may have taken from us and hidden from us our history, but they can never predetermine and control our future. They need your compliance for that. Timeout is done. It's time to get going. It's time to do. It's time to begin really, really actively living the purpose you were created to live. Whatever that purpose is, live it. Live it with no fear, no hesitation, no shame. There will be people who don't understand you. It's not for them to understand. If they needed to understand you, then they needed to do the work to better understand things that are beyond their capacity to understand. Okay? So let's see. Rebirth of magic, rejuvenation. This is what we're going through right now. This period, this is what's being gifted back to us. The rejuvenation of our magic. We are going to overcome the dark interference. Are you done being victimized? Are you done with that? Start acting like you're done if you're done with something. You see, when you're done eating, you don't just keep sitting at the table, right? You get up. You get up and you go about your day. When you're done eating at the table at a restaurant, do you stay there the whole day? No, you get up. You act like you're done. You push your plate away from you. You put your utensils down. You act like you're done. When you're in an environment that you are done with, you don't keep your hand on the fork and the spoon with the table right in front, the plate right in front of you at the table, and continue to act as though you're ready to shovel more of their toxicity down your gullet. You act like you're done when you are done, right? Some people don't know how to do that. Some people have been taught that if you say something that's against the collective decision, the official story, you're bad. Well, yeah, I'm a badass motherfucker is what it is. I just had to give myself some jokes. Awaken gnosis and shedding cycle. You cannot awaken your gnosis until you shed the membranes that have kept you confined. You are shedding this faux identity. It's this fake version of you that you were somehow convinced to be by other people through your lifetime. Galactic heritage in reverse. Leave the aliens alone. They're out of it. They're bowing out. They're tapping out. During this, this is going to be hard. During this 1221 portal, the galactics are taking a step back. They're not going to involve themselves because they're going to allow for ascension mechanics to push forward. What does this mean? Trauma-induced accretion. That's what it means. Trauma-induced accretion. So be ready to experience things that will very quickly expand your awareness, okay? We have the flow sigil and we have the abundance sigil. If you allow for this membrane to be dissolved, removed, however it is, and you allow yourself to flow, you will go directly towards your abundance in all its forms. You will find the communities and the spaces where you belong, where you are welcomed and celebrated. You'll find all of these amazing, beautiful people, opportunities, connections. Life will seem just so perfect and beautiful. And you deserve that. I want that for me. I want that for you. We deserve that. We deserve that. We deserve that. I'm going to begin the groundwork to start in-person church services. I will most likely be on Zoom while you guys gather at a chosen location that will be only accessible to ministry members for safety, because people be fucking crazy with me sometimes. I'm saying, just why can't y'all just chill? Not you guys. I'm talking about people who are crazy with me. And so, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for us very soon to grow together as a community. I want an in-person thing. I'm done with just online. At the very least, until the legalities of what I'm dealing with are successfully dealt with, I'm going to need to kind of keep that step back, stay backwards for a little bit or step back for a little bit. But that doesn't mean you guys can't come together and enjoy and me watch you via Zoom. This is going to be beautiful. I'm excited. I'm super excited. All right, guys, I got to get going. I got to teach my class. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. What's today's Saturday. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. No, I can't even do that. I can't do that. I have an event. You know what? I love you guys. I will see you soon. Yeah, I'll see you soon, okay? I'll see you guys very, very soon. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.